And at that age, you know, when you're single, before you ever have kids, you think that you know as much love as there is. Then you have your kids and you find out, oh, you can love even more. And then you have your grandkids and you're like, well, there's even more love out there. I really feel like I've had an amazing life already. I know I'm only 46, but I feel like I've had an amazing life. And it was just like you can see all the way from birth to where I'm at now, God's plan for my life working. Everybody says I am an exact replica of my mother, personality-wise. And I am. We are so much alike. We think so much alike. That's a good thing and a bad thing. We can overthink anything. I would have to say that I'm proud to be like my mom. She has such a good heart. She would do anything for anybody. Didn't matter how much it hurts her. Doesn't matter if it breaks her money-wise. It doesn't matter. She's just a good person, and she always wants to do what's right. Even if she taught me, even if you're gonna get in trouble, you have to tell the truth. That's how she is, and that's how she made me. Because I'm just like her, and I'm proud to be just like her.
So tell me how your dad has supported you in your life.
Brian just came in, 3 kids that weren't his, and married my mom and became our dad, and he adopted us, and to this day I can count on that man like he's my real dad, and I look at him as if he's my real dad. If he was standing right here and my real dad was standing right here, and he told me to do this and he told me to do this, I would follow what Brian said. He was there for every bad time. He was there to correct me when I was wrong. He was there to hand me my first car and let me pay him back for it. I was kind of hyper and stuff, and I always liked to do boy things. But I was, we went to Colorado, and I drove the 3-wheeler off a mountain, basically. And my dad came running. I've never seen him before or after that run so hard. But he came running and he saved me. And he was so scared. He was so scared that I was gonna get hurt. And that is a story that I'll never forget of that happening. But that was how I knew that my dad loved me like his own. And I love him like a real dad.
So how did you first meet Mike?
I was trying to make my boyfriend jealous. He had stood me up again, and I was like, that's it. The very first man I see, I'm inviting him in for dinner. I had made fried chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy and all this big old huge dinner for my boyfriend that did not show up. So I literally opened my door and saw Mike outside and said, you want to come in for dinner? Because this time when he shows up, I'm going to have another man here. And I had already thought Mike was the hottest guy on earth. And, I mean, literally, I would stare at him out the window and watch him work on his truck or wash his truck or anything he did outside, I was watching. So, but I opened the door. I was like, you want to come in for dinner? And he said, I already ate. And I said, you want to watch a movie? And he said, yeah. And he came in and he never left. I'm not kidding. He has literally been there every day since. So he came in and watched a movie, and I let him fall asleep on the couch so my boyfriend would show up and see him there. And the next week when my boyfriend tried to call me, I was like, I'm not interested in you anymore. Bye. Because Mike, every day when I came home from work, he was sitting on my steps for a week. And that's really it. That is it. I invited him in to make my boyfriend jealous, and I liked him. Well, he was really good looking. And at that age, like 20, that mattered more than anything. That he was hot. And he was. And I didn't think I deserved someone that good looking. And now we've just gotten old and fat together. Tyler, like this will tell you how good of a heart he has. He was about 10, and we gave them $5 a week for allowance. And we were going to the movies one night. He had saved up $10, and he decided what he wanted to do with his money was go to the movies. So we stopped at McDonald's on our way to the movies, and there was this homeless guy came in. Dirty, dirty, dirty man, smelled so bad. And you could tell he was off, that he was homeless because he was a little crazy. And he had grabbed some ribs out of a trash can, still in the package. And he sat down and tried to cut through the package and everything to eat these. And Tyler pulls his $10 out of his pocket. And he said, Mom, I don't want to go to the movies anymore. I want to give this man my money. And he walks over and hands this man $10 and says, let's go home. And he was only 10. But God moved on him, and his heart was so compassionate. And some 10-year-olds would have made fun of that man. I've seen it, actually. And they would have made fun of him for being so dirty and smelly and a little crazy and hard to talk to. But not Tyler. At 10 years old, his heart was just breaking for this man, and he gave him his $10. So we left and took him to the movies anyway. But he gave up his $10, and he was willing to give up the movies to bless that man. And so that's the kind of stuff to remember. That's the good that I can remember, that I think about. When I think back on Tyler, those are the kinds of things I remember. And Madison, I just remember the good stuff. And Maddie was a business from age 7. She was 7. And the bank, when you go to the bank and you get a sucker for your kids, every time you go through the drive-thru, they give you a sucker for your kids. I had no idea she was doing this, but she had this giant baggie that she was keeping all these suckers in, a Ziploc baggie. And one day, I look out the window and she's standing next to the driveway, stopping cars that are driving by to sell those suckers for $0.25. And she made like $7 or $9 that day. She might have been 9 and made $7. I don't remember, or she was 7 and made $9. I can't remember which one. But this was her business she came up with in her mind at that age. And she made enough money to buy something off of all the suckers she had been saving at the bank. And I don't know, I think of those kind of things. I think I stood there for 30 minutes watching her stop every car that went by to sell them a sucker. And so that's the kind of things that I remember about my kids. Nobody's lying when they say grandkids are grand. Taylin changed my life because when she was born, I didn't want to make any of the same mistakes with her that we made with our kids. And it became my most important thing in my life to be a good example for her and to take her to church and to put God in her the way my parents put God in me. I think Tay will just always be this most special because of being the first, just like your first child. And I didn't have anything else to draw my attention, so she got it all. She got every bit of it for 1 year and 4 months. Malachi is my happy one. You can make that child angry and in 2 seconds he is over it. It's time to move on. But he just smiles. Even when he's down, he smiles and keeps going and laughing and jumping and playing. And then it can come back to whatever is bothering him and he'll go, and that's the end of it. He's a whole lot like Alexis. She has brought new joy, I could say it that way, new joy into our house because she can be down in the dumps and one nice word, she's over it. One nice word, she's your best friends again. And she's just happy all the time. Lainey is my little priss pot. Prissiest little thing. She wants makeup on every time she goes to church. She's 3, but she likes to get dressed up in her princess clothes. She has every princess dress ever made in Disney. And she would just walk around in her Disney princess dresses all day long going like this. I look at her and I just always look at her and say, I love your face. And she knows, she expects that from me now because that's just what I say to her. I love your face. I love it when she smiles. She's even beautiful when she frowns. I love everything about Elijah. He is Mike made over again, good and bad. He's very headstrong, very physically strong. He walks like him, everything. He's just Mike. This was still back when, long time ago, when they thought that I wasn't going to live very long. I was really scared that she was going to die without me ever meeting her, or even if she was born and then died, that she would never remember me. And I love my grandbabies so much. I mean, there is just not words to describe the love that I feel for my grandbabies, every one of them. And I was so scared that they're going to die or I'm going to die and they're not going to remember me. And part of me wants to say that's a good thing. You know, they don't need to feel pain the rest of their life, but over missing me. But I really want them to remember the good that we had, all the fun that we had together. And I was so scared she was going to be born and I wasn't even going to get to meet her ever. And Maddie was going to have to go through her last labor without me. And so we did family pictures and I did a picture kissing her belly so that Nevada could after she was born, she'd be able to see that there was a grandma out there that loved her that she never got to meet. And she's almost a year old and I'm still here. So we're going to do more pictures with Nevada. But that was the thought, was that I was going to die and she was never going to meet me. And defied all the odds again. All the odds. God always defies the odds. And so now we're gonna, it's just amazing that it's been almost a year and I'm still here, and they thought I wasn't gonna make it to her birth. Alexis can be very wonderful. Seriously wonderful. When I need help, she's always there. When Maddie needs help, she's always there. And honestly, I know I didn't give birth to her, but I feel like she's one of mine. I love her so much. She's just perfect for Tyler. I know God put them together the way he did me and Mike. Alexis wasn't really raised in church, so she didn't know a lot. So we kind of bonded with talks about God over the last 3 years. And then, so when she decided she wanted me to baptize her, I started crying immediately, because I know that means that she was looking up to me as a spiritual mom. And so it was just so special that she wanted me to do that for her, because she truly believes in me and that I'm really a Christian, that I really live it, and that she just looks up to me on that. Chris has been a life save, really. You look at Madison's past and her exemplary choice in men. There was a chance that Elijah and Tay would not have came out with such a good dad, but Chris has been the best dad. He doesn't miss a beat. He is always there to get them. He's always there to drop them off. He's always there to do Tay's school with her. And he has just been amazing. The way he loves them and the way they love him, it's just beautiful when he comes walking in the door and Elijah comes running, "Daddy!" And it's literally like, the world has come to an end. Daddy is here. Yay! It's amazing. And they wouldn't be like that if he wasn't so great at home. When I first found out I was sick, he went and got me flowers and got me a $50 gift card for Walmart, and he's just wonderful. Erin, you have to love her because she's a fighter. She will fight to the very end. She will never give up. And that has been beneficial to me for my medical, because it's almost a year now and I still don't have medical insurance, which has really cut off a lot of things that would have been opportunity for me on fighting the cancer. And Erin, get on that phone, and she will call every congressman, she will call the news station, she'll call anybody she has to get you what you need. And that is something I love about Erin. It's not always a good thing when you're the one that she's coming against, but you get that girl on your side and you'll win. You will win. You will never lose when she's on your side. Tracy is different than that, because she'll help you, and she will just be there for you the whole way down. You might lose, but she will be there with you every minute of it. She will be there to support you. But Erin, you're not going down, because I'm not going to let you go down. And Tracy is more of the supportive, like, I'll be there to help you hit the ground and I'll make the ground softer. So that's the difference in them. And Preston, I don't want to give him a big head, but he's just perfect. I really think he's almost perfect. Christ is the only one that you can really say he's honestly perfect, but Preston's pretty dang close. He's just perfect. He knows how to talk. He knows when to be quiet. He knows when to speak up. He knows how to say things that'll have the most impact. He's selfless. He's just almost perfect. I remember when I first got sick and Preston stopped by my house. My favorite breakfast in the whole world is a ham, egg, and cheese bagel from Brahms. And he came over to bring me a ham, egg, and cheese bagel from Brahms. And I literally cried after he left and thought, he cared just to say I love you in that way. And I'll never forget him doing that because of what it made me feel inside. You know, it wasn't expensive. It wasn't a hard job to do, but it said so much to me inside. Tracy, I really have a lot of respect for her, and I really look up to her a lot. And sometimes I wish I could just be like Tracy, because she's a lot like Preston as far as she's selfless, and God called her to be a nurse. She is an amazing nurse, and she is so amazingly smart when it comes to medical things. But I think I was 9 the first time that I was home alone with her, that I felt sick, and she laid me on the couch and went and got a wet washcloth and sat next to me and held the wet washcloth on my forehead. And here it is, 35 years later, and she's a nurse, and a dang good nurse. Tracy and Terry's been together as long as me and Mike have. And we've been together for 26 years, so of course I love Terry. He is my brother. He might as well just really be a brother. He step out there for anybody. That is actually a call. You can't just go out to the homeless people unless the anointing is there for that. Because I realized being on the street that for them to respond to you properly is a God thing. It's not you. It's not me. It's not anybody else out there. It's God. All 100% God. He has to put it on you to do it, and he has to put it on them to receive it. It's amazing how good it made me feel, just because at first I was scared and thinking, God, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know who you're calling to do this, because I am so dumb when it comes to certain things, and I'm not a good people person, and I'm not good at having a good way to say things. They don't care. They don't care at all. As they can tell when you're sincere. They can tell when you're doing it just because you feel like it's your job to do it. And they can tell if you're just there to look good. If I could do everything my way, I would have done my whole funeral. And nobody would have had to do a thing. I'm not sure if being diagnosed with cancer changed the way I looked at anything, except future of worrying about things. But as far as my perception on things, the only thing that's changed is the ability to know that people love me. Because I didn't think people could love me, and now so many people have stepped up and they say things to me. They ask how I'm doing, they send me money, or that's really the only thing I think that's changed. Just how important the smallest little things can be. Seeing my daughter, a look from my daughter or my son, is more precious, and I think more deeply about what they're thinking or feeling. And but I have so much faith in God that He knows what He's doing, and that it's like it doesn't even matter. Nothing really matters as much except the little things. How important a word can be. So easy to take for granted 5 minutes or an hour, and I don't want to take advantage of that time anymore. I just feel like I've been blessed from birth until now, and it's just God's complete plan, step after step in my life.